Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One dog.
It's your girl, BD.
It's Foreign's the fiance.
And we're back with a disclaimer. It's hot.
It's so hot in here. So we
So
have windows
hot in.
open. Yeah, we don't sing Nelly actually on this pod.
Oh, yeah, it's true. That's, do you know what?
Oh my God,
redacted.
fuck. These artists and like their
they're all messing
music
up.
and oh my God.
This is why
It's
they say
actually
ignorance is
jarring.
bliss.
Literally, that somebody was like the other day, can somebody remake all of R. Kelly's music because it slaps? And someone else was like, oh, well, when you really think about the fact that you sing about kids, it doesn't slap. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but the music actually does slap. Like,
Yeah, I would make it like it's already it's out in the universe and it's out by okay.
Yeah,
and it will always be that way.
It's out, yeah, with you knowing what it's about. But his music was like, oh,
it's crazy.
God.
He's like an evil genius. Like he had such a gift, and God really like niced him. But then it's like he chose evil.
Yeah, he really chose evil. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, proper sad.
Fuck these niggas, man. Fuck these
honestly
singing ass, rapping ass, raping ass niggas.
Okay, cool. Literally.
So guys, we are back, and like just disclaimer. Well, not even a disclaimer, just like some info. Like I'm traveling in like 3 days and I am all over the place. Like in my brain I have like 6 like checklists and I'm going for like hella tabs open. Yeah, literally I'm going for a really long time. And this always happens before I travel. Even if I'm only going for like a weekend or a week here, I'll have like 20 tabs in my brain. And then the second I sit down on that flight, I'm like, close all tabs, sleep.
Yeah, it is nice. It really is nice.
It's very nice because my room right now, I can't wait to be done. But
yeah, but it'll be worth it. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a good time and a long time. So that's gonna be good.
Damn.
So this week we are back and we are doing Louis Theroux.
It's Theroux. I gotta get through this.
Okay, I call him Theroux.
I gotta make it. Throw that ass in a circle.
Does he say Theroux?
Yeah.
I'm sure he
said Theroux.
Okay. Anyways,
we're doing that. Theroux. It's Louis Theroux.
Okay, we're doing that guy. And he is doing, and the documentary is called Mothers on the Edge. So we open up.
And not of Glory either.
Yeah, so. No. Who sang that? Gaga, yeah.
Gogs.
So we open up in this documentary and we're in Southeast London. And Louis is in the mother and baby unit of Balham Hospital. And at this point we don't really know like what really the premise of the documentary is, but yeah. So we meet a mother called Catherine who has been there for 4 weeks and she has a 6-month-old baby.
A 6-month-old baby.
That's what I'm thinking. That doesn't make sense to me, but 6-month-old?
Yeah, 6-month-old.
Yeah, okay, 6-month-old baby. And basically we learn that she's under section. Is it section? I
thought it said section, but sanction, well, maybe sanction is like police and then section is like mental health.
Okay,
I'd assume, guys, please correct us if we're wrong.
Correct us, yeah. We don't know shit. Corrections. Yeah. So, like, basically, this means that if she wants to leave the hospital, they'd restrain her, they'd call the police. Like, she literally has to be there, basically. Which is so mad to me, because a lot of times when you hear, I guess it's because, like, celeb culture rehab, but when you hear of people, like, going into, like, I guess rehab facilities are a bit different, but you always told that they're free to leave. So it's a bit mad that, like, yeah, literally, she can't. And for me, I am extremely claustrophobic. Like, I don't like the idea of, because like we were having this conversation yesterday and my sister was like, oh, would I go to outer space? And I was like, no, because it's very claustrophobic. I know it sounds stupid, but it is, because like I can't leave. Like,
so is it less about the space that you're in and more about your ability to leave said space?
Yes.
Because you could be in a mansion, but then it's like, I can't leave this place. Then you feel like... Okay, but then maybe there's a different word for that, because I feel like claustrophobic is not the right word.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's the right word, because it's feeling, because you do feel tight, like, even in elevators, if I was in an elevator and it got stuck, I think I would have, like, a massive panic attack.
Yeah, no, but then that's a physically small space.
But so it's like, not about the size of the space for me.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like it must be a different thing. Then I feel like claustrophobia, it's like this space is so small, the walls are closing in. I feel, as opposed to I'm in this mansion, but I cannot leave, and that makes me feel anxious or that makes me feel away. Do you get what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe there's like different types of claustrophobia.
Yeah, maybe there is, because but either way.
But I get what you're saying.
That thought of being told like I can't leave this place, that would drive me insane.
Because I'd be cool, like I'm in the hospital, cool, I'm getting help. But then once they have the caveat of but you cannot leave. It's like, what do you mean I cannot leave?
Yeah, like what do you actually mean? Like I would
what
go
are you
crazy.
talking about?
That alone would like push me over the edge.
Yeah.
So
now you're the mother on the edge.
So she has 24-hour surveillance. And again, that also would drive me crazy because it's just like you always feel like somebody's watching me. But yeah. Basically, so she explains to Louis that she overdosed the week before, and she tried to overdose, and that's why she's here. It was attempted suicide. So we learned that she's suffering from postpartum depression. Well, not depression, but just issues around just having a baby. They haven't actually quite like diagnosed her yet, but I guess it falls under the wider umbrella of like postpartum like depression. And basically, we learned that she had an eating disorder and anxiety as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, it's developed into what she's experiencing now. Like, it's kind of reared its head again. And then so we learn a bit about her background and maybe something that alludes to why she is suffering from postpartum. And anybody can have, like, postpartum depression. There's no, like, this or that or the third, which we learn. But this kind of shed some light as to how she ended up kind of where she's today, which is really sad. So basically she said she had a termination with her last pregnancy because at some point during those checkups they do with babies, she found out that the baby had a really rare form of Down syndrome, so they had a termination. And like from the way she explains it, the baby had like, fingers, nails, hair, like it was like a baby. It was like a baby. It was
I think she said it was like 6 months or something though.
Yeah,
so it was like
a
baby.
It was a baby. Like my sister was born at, I think it was like 7 months. So
oh God.
Yeah, like that baby could have like essentially survived. That is so sad though. Like you feel something
really
kicking.
Heavy. It's really heavy.
For me, it's not even just like if I lost a baby, but it's actually having to give birth
to the baby.
No. Just
it's like, how do you even like, because that alone, like she could have never had another child, and that alone was enough to just have you on the ropes.
Literally, I wouldn't even trust my body again. But yeah. So she explains that she got pregnant soon after the termination, and like they planned her baby. So her son's name is Jake, and she also had a son with the first pregnancy as well. They planned this baby, and she just said that like after giving birth, which was 3 weeks after her first birth, because she actually did give birth to the child that was stillborn, but after
3 weeks after the anniversary, right?
The anniversaries of the first birth, she gave birth to Jake, and she just said that like he was just a reminder of her grief and sadness, and it was just all way too connected. And basically, she felt like
if it had been a girl, it would have been maybe we don't know if it would have been.
No, I don't think so. I think it's still the concept of like a child that
I think so. But then she said something about like it was like a baby, it was a son as well. Like it literally was like what this baby maybe could have been. It had be. Do you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Either way, it was going to be difficult. But I reckon if it were a girl, if the gender was different, then it's kind of like you don't look at this baby and think, oh, Jake. Like 2.0. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's so funny because she says that Jake is a rainbow baby, quote unquote, which is basically a baby that's born after like great sadness. And it just makes me feel, it just makes me think that all like cultures like have their own version of things, which obviously we know, but like in like Igbo culture, there's some like their names you give a baby like after it comes, like if it comes after like sadness as well, which is, it's just, I just found that interesting.
Yeah.
But basically, she says that she didn't feel any bond or connection to Jake. And it's so crazy to me. This documentary was so insightful. Like, it's probably one of my favourites that we've done, just from what I learned. But it was just so crazy to me that she said she doesn't feel a bond or connection to this baby. Because I feel such strong bonds and connections to babies that, like, are not even mine. Like, if a family member has a baby, I feel like, oh my gosh, I feel bonded.
You have a bond to your kids that you haven't even had yet.
I was just about to say that. Anybody out there that feels the same way, please let me know. I love my children So I'm willing to lay down my life for kids that I haven't even conceived yet. Like,
Yeah.
I feel such a strong connection to my own children. It's mad. I feel a flipping connection to my friends' kids, and they don't have kids yet. Like, I already feel like, oh my gosh, I love these children so much. So I find it crazy that someone can birth a child and
Do
have
you
a
know what?
connection to a
I was
baby.
so happy that this whole documentary was a thing, and I'm so happy that she said this, because I remember like feeling as a child, like, well, not a child, but like grown enough and adult-ish, adult-esque. Like, what if I have a kid and like I'm just like, now what? Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt like one of my fears about having children has been like, what if I'm just not a motherly person? Like, what if I'm just not like, what if I just don't get it? Like, what if I just can't do it? Because it's just one of those things where like there's no qualifications required. Like, all you have to be able to do, or all you have to have done, is be nutted in. That's literally it. And then have grown the baby, and then pushed it out or let it be taken from you. And that's it. Like, that's it. Like, there's no qualification. There's no like to-do list. There's no preparation. Like, you either can do it or you can't. And then sometimes I look at people and I'm like, oh, if this person can do it, I'm sure I can do it. But then it's like, what if you have the baby and you just look at this thing and you're just like, cool,
Yeah.
like, what are you saying,
But
kind of
I
thing.
think babies are like marriage, which is like everybody does it their own way. Like, the way I'm going to be a mother is not how you're going to be a mother. It's not how my sister's going to be a mother. It's not how your sister,
Of
like it's going to be
course.
different. So
But
I don't.
it is. But with a marriage, yeah, you are with the person and then you marry the person. With motherhood, like, we're all just doing this right now. Like, I've had you. We're here now. I
Yeah,
can't be like, oh, sorry, let's call off this motherhood now. Like, that's it. I'm
yeah.
done.
You'll,
Like,
yeah,
it's
I
literally like,
guess.
we're here now. Like, rah, like, so
Yeah, what's
seeing
good?
Catherine say like, oh, I didn't feel a connect. Obviously, her situation is so much more deep than me being
Yeah,
scared that I'm gonna hate kids or whatever. But
yeah,
like, Catherine like saying that, it's just like, I feel like as women, like, it's just assumed that you're just gonna like love this kid, or
yeah,
you're just gonna like you're gonna pop the kid out, and it's like, woo, mummy life, like, you know. And
yeah.
it's good to see that that's not always the case.
Yeah, yeah, it's very true. Like, even with me, I was watching this documentary, and like there was a point where they said that some babies are planned and women still slip into like this depression. And I just thought about like myself, like I have such, I don't know, grand ideas of being a mother and the way I'm gonna feel. And it's not even
Yeah,
just society telling me, it's just that I'm a very motherly, like nurturing person. Like, I just have all these fantasies about the relationship I have with my kids and the bond, and I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to breastfeed to feel that connection. But I was just
yeah.
like, it made me realize, like, what if I give birth and I have like this like severe depression, and I don't feel any of those things? It's sad and it's
This is what I'm
scary.
saying. There's no, and even this is a lot less. This is a lot less emotional and mental health related. But like, people lose their teeth from
Yeah,
pregnancy. Like,
people
loads of
have
mad things
blood
can
clots
happen.
in their milk.
Yeah, as in like you could die,
Oh,
right? As in like, I mean, you could die
at the height of it, yeah,
birthing this
you could
child,
die.
and there's no guarantees or no anything, and it's not to be depressive about the whole thing. Obviously, millions of women give birth and they're fine. I mean, every single person here is an example of a birth that resulted in a baby. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But like, I don't know, like, is there's just so much, and I think it's just been made so like normal, like, oh yeah, you get married, you have a baby, you know, whatever, and it's like, fam, this is not an easy thing. Like, it's not an easy thing. Like, it's not like a marathon you can just train for and then, like, you know, in a couple of years you'll be ready. Like, you are never ready. You just become ready at the point at which you get pregnant, or you don't, or you do. Like, it's so wild that it's
yeah,
just
it's
like a
wild.
normal thing that you do as a woman. You're expected to just kind of give birth, have a kid, raise a kid is fine. But it's actually such a wild concept. Like, if you sit down and think about everything about it, it's crazy. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that we put ourselves through it either. It's like we know, it's like walking to the flipping like slaughterhouse. Like, you know
From
what's like, obviously you're not like
Once you've done it
hopefully not.
once, yeah, when you did it again, that was a choice. Okay, so all the eldest children, cool. Do you know what I mean? Cool. They did it again on purpose.
My mum did it twice over. I don't know what that woman was. And she was super ill with my middle sister as well. So I don't know
It's
what made
crack.
her think, oh, you know what I'm gonna do today? Get pregnant. Like,
It must be
sis,
crack.
it must be. But apparently there's this hormone that's released like after you have a baby that makes women forget. So like, but I don't know if that's true, because when she recounts, I'm the only baby she gave birth to like vaginally. And she can very clearly tell you everything that day. So I don't know if that's true, but apparently there is some hormone.
Well, I don't know that it makes you forget, because my mum was, well, my mum didn't know what she was chatting about. She had me by C-section, so what did she even do? Yeah, but she was saying how like when you give birth, because she had my sister naturally, you're in pain, right? But then like when you hold the baby, it's like all the pain goes away because it's replaced by how happy and joyous you are, blah blah blah. Like I can understand that, like, you know, when your mind is distracted by something, you forget the pain of things. Like, not to use a stupid example, but like, you know, when you're getting your hair done and braids her after it's done, but like you look like a buffeting, and like, alright, cool,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I can understand. I can imagine, like, kind of like not forgetting the pain, but like it being replaced by, I'm so happy I have this baby to look after forever and ever and ever, you know.
Let's hope so, because I have a low pain threshold, so I
Yeah, I
already
can't even imagine
know.
you giving birth. Like, it doesn't even seem on brand to you. Like, I can just imagine you like, like, this
Yeah.
is,
I'm such a
and then
princess.
they're like, oh, you need to push, and you're like,
Do I have
oh,
to?
do I have to? Like,
That's how
can't
I'm
you
gonna
push
push it.
for me?
Just do it. Just
You'd be like,
please do it.
and then they'll be like, we just need one push, and you'll be like, is it out? And they're like, no, nigga,
No,
it's
literally, it's
not.
not even crowding.
I
Like,
cannot even see hair, like nothing.
literally.
That's
No,
what I imagine.
like giving birth is, it's just like Mariah Carey. I could not imagine how she gave birth to those twins.
Yeah,
Like, it's
very
very off
off-brand.
brand, literally.
Yeah,
Because
it doesn't make
I
sense.
definitely feel like if I was a celebrity, that is exactly who
Yeah,
I
that's who
would
you'd
be
be.
like.
That's what you should have said when we did our credits
Literally,
episode. Mariah Carey.
literally Mariah
Talk about
Carey.
Kylie
Like,
Jenner.
without, no, yeah, actually, shit. I don't know why I didn't say her, but without a shadow of doubt, I would be Mariah Carey. Like, if I was a
Yeah,
celebrity, I am her, and I'm not
definitely.
even a celebrity. Like, we are the
Yeah,
same personality, drama queens, princesses. Like, so I
except you
just
can't
genuinely,
sing.
yeah, well, that's debatable. It's open to interpretation. Depends on what you consider singing. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna push, but like my
Yeah,
fiance's told me that if I don't get epidural, he is not fucking coming anywhere near. He's like, he said to me, "You can't handle it natural." Because I was like, "Yeah, I want to do natural. Let me just
no, the
bond with the
only reason
baby."
that you want to push is because you want a push present. Otherwise, C-section,
No,
surrogate.
I'm still. I mean, even if I had a C-section or a surrogate, I would still get a push present.
Okay, of course. But of
It's about
course.
bringing life into this world. It's not about which method or means. Either way, I brought the life into the world, so you give me a
Okay,
present.
well, fair.
Bam. What this shit meant to say about, oh, the baby's a present. Are you bonkers? Like,
The baby that I have to take care of is a present.
you better buy me my
My mom
Chanel
always
bag.
says, "Don't buy me presents I need to take care of." First of
Fam.
all,
Fam. Anyways, so yeah, Catherine says that she basically tried to kill herself because she just felt like Jake deserved a better mother who loves him. And I also was wondering, like, how do you take care of a baby you don't love? But I think we learned that these women are still very capable of, like, looking after their kid, taking care of them, maintaining welfare. It's just for some of them, the connection bit is what's off.
and it's also like nannies can take care of babies, and that's not their baby.
Exactly.
They
So
don't
she
have that
shows
same
us,
bond with them, but like they're a human being. Like, have
yeah,
some empathy. Like, you can take care of a baby, even if it's bad
yeah,
vibes.
yeah. So she shows us like this Instagram where she looks all happy and she posts pictures of Jake, and she just says that on Instagram she feels like social media in general, she feels like the pressure to portray a perfect image. And I mean, this is something we all been known. Like, people will be going through hell and will still post that picture like looking good, and everything you see online isn't real, edits, this and that. So I mean, we all knew this, but it's just wild that like she literally posted some of those pictures at her lowest when she felt suicidal. Like, it's very crazy to me, and this is why I advocate for social media breaks.
Yeah, and it's also very crazy that like she felt like, imagine you're going through a mental crisis, and in your mind you're thinking, okay, I need to post this picture so it looks like I'm okay.
Yeah, but
That's
I
very
get the
wild.
vibe that she's some sort of influencer or something of the sort. I
Or
don't know if
influencer adjacent.
yeah, I get that vibe because
Yeah,
her
she seems like one
fiance
of the Facebook ones. Like, you know, when we did the family murderer one,
yeah,
how
yeah,
Shanann was a very Facebooky poster. She gave me that kind of vibe.
yeah, exactly. So now we meet another new mum called Barbara, who's also come to the mother and baby ward, and she had postpartum psychosis.
This one scared me, boy.
Literally, and she was being sectioned with delusional thoughts and confusion. So basically, like, it just seems like she was very confused and discombobulated, and like her image of what was going on was distorted. So basically, her husband explains that she had been having suicidal thoughts, and she was really struggling and stuff like that. And then one night, in the middle of the night, like, she goes to the train station to like kill herself. And the first time I ever heard of postpartum, or is it postnatal? I don't know what to call it, but either one. The first time I heard of that form of depression was I was reading an article, and this woman, I was quite young, and this woman had postpartum depression, and literally her husband was out that evening, and she left her baby in the house and literally went and walked for miles to the motorway and literally walked into traffic and died. And I was just like, whoa. And the baby was just at home, door open, crying. So imagine the husband coming home, the
Oh
door
my
is
God.
open, your baby's crying. First thing you're thinking is somebody has come into this house and killed my wife. You're looking for your wife, only to find out yeah, she walked into the middle of the thing and killed herself. And also, that's one of my other biggest fears, like driving in the middle of the night, because some motorways are really ill lit, and then somebody just walking like out into the road, like, child.
That's terrifying.
But yeah, so she basically had tried to go to the train station and kill herself, and that's why she got brought. That was basically the final straw, and she got brought here. So there's this really weird bit when her husband is like explaining all of this stuff. And like, first of all, she's really like edgy when Louis comes about. Like, she doesn't know if she wants to sit down and be part of the conversation or not. She's really jittery, and she's saying she wants to make everybody feel comfortable. And like, obviously everybody's trying to make her feel comfortable because she's the one that's going through stuff. And then she says this really weird thing about like how her husband is the one that's being sectioned because he's having postnatal depression.
Did you know how this was really strange? Because it was like, so she's Spanish, right? And so I was like, okay, this is not a language barrier thing.
No.
Because she fully understands and she's able to speak and like, she can respond, like everything is fine. We can understand her perfectly.
It's just what she's saying is not making sense.
Right, but it sounds like, imagine if she didn't speak English, right? And someone was trying to explain something to her, but like it was getting lost in translation. It kind of sounded like that, but then it wasn't. It couldn't have been that because she understood everything and her English was great.
Yeah,
so it was like,
it's just...
That's
it's
the only way I can
crazy
explain
to
it.
see somebody like go, like really literally witness
It's really
it.
scary.
Because the thing about this documentary is, other than, well, there's one other mum where we see kind of her own like mental health play into it, but like with Catherine, we didn't firsthand see anything, so this was very interesting. And basically,
and also Barbara was fine before, apparently, like she was normal, everything was fine, normal,
she'd never
no
had
mental
any
health
issues.
history. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. So basically, she was just saying that like, oh yeah, her husband's the one that has like psychosis, and he was just like, okay, cool. And then basically she was like, yeah, she feels the need to protect her baby because her husband is the baby's brother and she's the mother of her husband. And Louis was just like, huh? And me, I was like, huh? So I was just like, okay, sis, like, you need to go and take some treatment that they're giving you here, because this is crazy.
This is crazy. It was actually so wild. And the thing is that she wasn't trolling, like, she actually believed this. And
she
I felt
actually
really bad
believed
for her
it.
husband in this moment, because it was like, imagine you have, and as much as like I would scream men are trash, yeah, it must be a different feeling for them, because in this whole childbirth pregnancy thing, like they don't, it's out of their control as well. Like, all they can do is like make you as comfortable as possible. In this situation where like this woman has birthed your child, and as a result of birthing your child, she now has psychosis as a result of that. And it's like, the baby still needs to be taken care of. Your wife needs to be taken care of. You've almost lost your wife because it's not who she was before she had the baby. And it's just like, that's just a lot for everybody involved to deal with.
Yeah, it's true. So we meet another mother, Lisa, and this isn't even her first like rodeo. Like, she's had postnatal depression before with her other two kids, but I'm guessing from what's implied during the documentary, I think this is the worst she's had it. And she was literally fine when she had her baby. She felt like this was the first experience she was having where like she was really in control. She was super mom. She was happy. She was with her kids. She was able to take them all out to cinema and stuff. So then she has this hen do in Marbella, and her baby wasn't taken to the bottle. So she had to kind of like cold turkey force her to stop. And then she goes to Marbella, comes home, and then that day she comes home, she calls her husband. She's just like, yeah, I can't do this with these kids anymore. So obviously, like, you're probably thinking, like, a lot of women say this during the day. The kids are driving them.
It's been a hard day.
Yeah, like, literally up the wall, like, fine, cool, whatever. And then her husband just said from there was, like, a decline in her mental health. She wouldn't get out of bed. She felt like she just couldn't face the world. And basically, there was a complete shift in her personality. And she says that like there was a day she was eating dinner and she basically said to her husband that, yeah, like they're going to be killer clowns that come in and kill all of us. And she said that like she could very vividly see that this was about to happen. And she had such crippling like fear and anxiety, like she could still feel it in her chest. And like Louis was like to her, like, so now do you see that you were being ridiculous? She was like, yeah, I know that I was being ridiculous, but I can still feel that fear that I felt then. It's mad.
Speaking to people with I remember I had a patient who had really bad anxiety, and she was just saying like, I know that I'm being irrational. I know that these things are unlikely to happen. I know that this is not, a normal way to think, but I cannot help but be consumed by the thoughts and the fears and the anxiety. And that's what it reminded me of when I heard that bit, because it was like, obviously I know there are not killer clowns coming to kill us all. But at the time, that is my biggest fear. Is that there are killer clowns coming. And it's like fighting yourself, because it's like, I know that this is not going to happen, but I'm so terrified because it's going to happen. And it's like, it must really be crazy. And it's like, you can't just, if you're having a mental health crisis and it's just you, yourself and you, if you don't shower for 3 days, if you don't eat for 5 nights, like it really is you and you. But like when you now have dependents, it's like
that you have to be present for.
Right. It's like you it's like do you even have the time? Because it's like not Barbara, what was her name? Lisa was saying like she was on it. She was like super mum for the first like 6 months or however long it was. And it's just like it's so crazy.
It just declines.
Because you see so many different types of mum during this documentary, and it's like so many every single one of them has been affected.
So Louis basically says
the physical and emotional trauma of giving birth and coping with a newborn is in many cases aggravated by a sense of unrealistic expectations of what having a baby is like.
The gap between how society tells mums they should be and what that reality may be is more complicated. So basically, I feel like this literally sums up a lot of what goes on like in, I don't want to say today's society to like trivialize what women before us went through, but I just feel like, again, with like stuff like social media and things like that, like even when you watch, it's so funny. So like recently I've been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Don't judge me, but it's the final season. I've just been waiting to see if like Kim's going to talk about her divorce with Kanye. And one thing I noted the other day was like, so like Kris Jenner was moving out of her house basically, and like you see her like there like getting all her shit together, and it's done overnight. Like she literally moves out of her house in one day, and so does Khloe. And it's just funny because it's like, you will sit here watching the show and you'll see like Khloe move out of her house and you think, wow, this woman does it all, like businesses, she's a mom, she has a relationship, her nigga cheats tirelessly, she moves out of her house. How does she do it? Oh my God, wow. And they never ever show like their staff. It's so funny to me. I don't know if it's like NDAs or whatever that makes them not show their stuff. But when you watch the show, it just looks like these are like women who like run their shit themselves. And you're watching that and you're thinking, obviously it'd be ridiculous to think that they do half their shit themselves. But this is like the image that's portrayed on like social media.
And that's what people then think.
Like being a mother you should be able to run all these businesses. You should be able to be present for each of your kids. You should be able to do this, do that, do the third. And it's like, it's so unrealistic. And even that stuff you're saying about like, oh, women should be maternal. Men never sit down and think to themselves, like, I've had so many conversations with my fiance about like, if I'd be a good mother, would I do this right? Would I do that right? And a lot of it comes from like him reassuring me. But I've never heard a man come out and say, like, I don't know if I'm going to be a good dad. What if I'm not paternal? What if I'm this? All they say is, oh, I know I don't want a daughter because girls are hoes. Da, 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 da. Other than that, I never hear guys, like, have those feelings. And it's because society puts so much pressure on women. And women are always seen as the primary caregivers. Like, they are the ones that are meant to, like, be there for the emotional labour,
nurture,
the domestic labour. It's ridiculous. And this is where some of it comes. I really believe that if a lot of the parenting kind of workload was divided equally, it would be a massive help on women's mental health, because some women even get pregnant and start thinking to themselves, okay, well, I have to stop doing this and that, things they love, because now they're a mother, because either society deems those things as unacceptable. Either society deems those things as unacceptable, or they just don't have the time to do those things
Do you know what?
anymore.
It's very, very true. And this takes me back to the episode, I think it was 47, Little White Lie, where, yes, Lacey's mum was trash. But when she said, look, like, before I was your mum, like, I was a woman. And it's like, I'm a woman first. And so this is the thing. I believe, obviously, you have a baby, and that baby, your children are a priority. They should, you should give them your undivided attention, all your love, provide, protect, nurture, all that good stuff. We know, la la la, cool.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, yeah, I am a human being. I am a woman first. And it's like on the airplane where they say, put your mask on first before you start trying to help people with their mask on. So I'm really hoping that, say I'm a mother, I'm still going to be out here doing up girls' trips. Yeah, I'm still going to be out here doing up date night. I'm still going to be out here doing up spa days, doing my nails, doing my hair, feeling like a bad bitch. Because, like I've said in the past episode, I was a bad bitch before I was your mother. And I just
a bad bitch I shall remain.
A bad bitch I shall remain. So I just don't want it to be that, like, I lose my identity. Like, one of my biggest fears, about getting married or having kids is, like, losing my identity and becoming the roles that I now play. Because right now, I am me. Like, I don't even like to say too soft that, I'm an optometrist. Like, I try now and say, like, I work as an optometrist, because I don't want that to just be my identity. Do you get what I mean? Like, I want it to be a thing where it's like, I am me, and I play these particular roles, and that's all together is all the thing. I don't want it to be like, I'm this person's mum or this person's wife.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to who you marry, though. And I'm honestly being truthful. I don't think there's anything more to it. Like, you just have to marry someone. The way I see it is, like, you have to be with someone who feeds your soul and feeds who you are.
You as a person,
literally, you don't want somebody who, like, starves you,
stifles
who you are. Like, yeah, like, and I think that's where it comes from. That as I am today, my fiance knows there's certain things I like doing, and I will still want to do those things after we get married and have kids. And he's very supportive and encouraging of those things. So,
because that's what makes you who you are.
Exactly. And that's who he fell in love with. Vice versa. Like, I wouldn't want him to stop doing certain things because we're married and he has kids. So, I don't know. I just think it really does come down to having a supportive partner. And I mean, I don't know these women in and out, but they seem to have supportive partners, and they're still, but either way, I just think it comes from having, like, it helps having somebody there who's going to support you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a positive factor. I think, like, it can still be shit. Like, you can have everything and still have the depression.
Yeah, because if I had a man that wanted fresh suit every day, and he wanted me to be dressed from, like, in long skirts and whatever, I would feel crazy pressured having kids and settling down, because I'd be like, shit,
cover
like,
your breastises.
My whole life, fam. You need a man that's going to tell you, listen, show that cleavage.
Get him out.
That keeps my shit standing. Like, that's what you want. Like, I'm trying to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But this also just reminds me of, I don't know if I told you to watch it. It's on BBC. It's called Motherland. Yeah, I think I've told you to watch it.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah. It reminds me of that, because basically these are mothers just navigating, and they're one's a father, but they're different kinds of parents. And there's one where her husband is just shit. Like, she's always frazzled and, like, struggling to take care of the kids and, like, do her job. And her husband will just be, like, on a beach somewhere, or he'll be cycling somewhere. Like, just watch the show. But yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be angry, man.
So we're back with Catherine, and it's so cute because, like, Louis is changing her son. And, like, we've said before that we feel like Louis is on the spectrum or something. But, like, this just shows you, like, I don't know, like, I feel like around kids, he's just not awkward.
Louis is amazing with children. Like, I have this note. Louis is amazing with kids.
He is it was kind of turning me on. I was like, I was chilling. Like,
I was looking at him. I was like, wait,
daddy, huh?
I was like, Louis?
You trying to have some more
Nah,
kids?
I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at him away. I'm not gonna lie.
There's something sexy about guys that can take care of kids. I'm sorry, but like, maybe this is why I like dads. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Sorry, is your fiance your dad? Okay.
No, not
that's
dads.
news
Like,
to me.
not like uncles. I like dads, like Idris Elba kind of dads.
Okay, but sorry, I go back to my original point. Is your fiance a dad?
No, he's not.
Something I don't know?
He's finna be soon, so then I'm gonna be.
Listen, I've
Not
said
soon.
I don't have my rich auntie money together yet, so you need to wait. Please, let's blow first. Please. Let's blow first before
No,
you
but
start
yeah,
popping kids
Louis was
out.
doing thangs. Like he was all changing the nappy. He's like, yeah, like,
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, okay.
he was so, and then even like, oh, okay, well, yeah. Anyway, there's a bit where like Jake is like, oh, I did a poo,
And then
and
it
then
wasn't
Lou
Jake.
is
It
like,
was but yeah, it's the other one.
yeah, Lou was like, oh, let's see Jake's poo, let's
So
have a
oh, it's a
look.
big boy poo.
It was like, it's a big boy poo, and Jake was so excited, and it was like, oh, it was the
But
other
like,
Jake, not the baby Jake, the big Jake.
oh, was
They
the
both
other
had
one
kids
called
called
Jake as
Jake.
well? Oh, I
They both
didn't
had
know.
kids called Jake.
But
Yeah.
like, also, I just feel like, so with Louis, yeah, he's really weird. I feel like he's really weird around adults. And there even times in this documentary, I was like, oh, Louis, like, why are you saying this? Like,
Yeah.
that's just his vibe. And obviously, he means well. I just think he struggles with communicating or showing empathy in his communication. But like with kids, it's just like,
He's like a child.
yeah, like
But the thing is, I don't
but
think
it
he
wasn't
struggles
in
to
an
show.
abaya kind of way. It was just like
Yeah, natural, like a
yeah.
nursery teacher, like a good nursery teacher. I feel like I don't know that he struggles to show empathy, because even the bit with Barbara where it was really awkward, because he basically, like Forenz explained, oof, I almost said governments, like Forenz explained, yeah, it was he was basically just saying, like, you know, are you comfortable? Should I talk to you? Should I talk to your husband? And she was just like, oh, you know, I'm uncomfortable. And he was like, oh, if you're uncomfortable, I'll speak to your husband instead. So it was very much like mindful of how she felt and things. But it is always going to be a little bit awkward because of the situation, and also because it's Louis. But like you said, I agree in that, like, with kids, I don't know, it's like a layer has been, it's like he exhales when he's talking to kids.
Yeah.
And when it's adults, it's like he's not breathing. Do you know what I mean?
So we basically learned that Catherine has been diagnosed with emotionally unstable personality disorder, which I'd never heard of before this, but I think it's quite self-explanatory. And it can be treated easily, like with, it can't be treated easily with medication. So it's like different to like other forms of like issues you face with postpartum. Like this actually cannot be treated quite easily. And she explains that like basically what is missing from her relationship with her son is a feeling of love, like that rush of love. She said she didn't have it with Jake, but she had it with the first kid. Like when it was born, the first baby was born, she just felt like this rush of emotion and love and need to protect that kid. But with Jake, she just felt nothing. And like as they dig deeper into this conversation, like Louis basically concludes that what she has might be some self-preservation. Like she's been hurt with her first kid dying, so part of her is trying to protect herself from, you know, something happening to this kid. Yeah, which is like you can't have with your baby, but yeah. And she says she wants to love Jake, like she wants to fall in love with him, and she wants to be able to come out and say like, I would do anything like for my kid. So
which goes to show that like even amidst the depression, it's like, look, I want to love you.
Yeah.
I just cannot right now, kind of thing.
Yeah. So Louis is kind of confused as to like if people can really come out and say they don't feel anything for their babies. And one of the psychiatrists says,
when people say they don't feel anything for their baby, it is absolutely real, because these things are on a spectrum, aren't they?
And even some resentment, I suppose.
Resentment, yeah, feeling nothing, almost hating the baby, wishing the baby were not there, dead sometimes. It's because people hide what they're really feeling. It's meant to be a happy time, isn't it? The business of having a baby is supposed to be a really happy time. So because of that, people put on all sorts of masks to hide what's really going on.
And that is so true. Like, I think when you have a baby, everyone thinks automatically you're happy, you're at peace, you're this,
and also
you're
that you should be privileged because some people can't have kids. So how dare you have a kid and then you don't even feel like you want the kid?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Honestly. Because think about it, I have a kid now, and then I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'm not really fucking with this kid. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna look at me like, fam, what? Like it's not the kind of thing that you just say in the group chat. It's not the kind of thing you just express. And so I think that also leads to feelings of like isolation as well, which cannot help with the on top of the other things you're feeling,
issues you're facing. It's true. So we meet 25-year-old Marie, who gave birth 5 weeks earlier. So she came in quite quickly after becoming a mother. And she had a very traumatic birth, which affected her mental health. leading to suicidal thoughts. And basically she says that this was very, very insightful and interesting. So she explains that her birth brought up memories of sexual assault, which she wasn't prepared for. And I was thinking, how? But then I realized, like, basically what she was saying was just that there were loads of people there. Like, she was in a very private and intimate moment, and she just kind of like felt like she didn't have control of the situation. And I've never actually thought about that in regards to like sexual assault. I thought maybe the baby had been born of sexual assault. That's why it triggered her, but it hadn't. She was assaulted 3 years before.
I think it also could be a case of like, you know, when someone's been sexually assaulted and they do like a rape kit, that's very similar. In like you're like in a hospital, legs open, they're doing all these tests, swabs, everyone's around there. Do you know? Well, not everyone's around. I'm sure that it's quite private, but it's just that sort of environment where it's like they're at your vagina doing things. And you're not, like you said, you're not in control.
Yeah.
Like, you just, so, I mean,
yes, it can't be
really
easy.
sad.
Speaking of people being, like, all up in your vagina, like, I literally had another smear test, and that was...
When did you have it? Today?
No, I had it on Monday.
How was that?
I mean, it wasn't pleasant.
Smear test.
But I guess, like, now you're more, like, prepared. I was more prepared, because this is what it's actually just my second one. And do you know what? Compared to, like, the biopsy, like, this is like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
they're not, like, hacking at my womb, literally.
Yeah,
so, like,
honestly.
Yeah, it was, but it was...
terrified. I mean, I'd recommend every woman go out there and have your smear test. Yeah. I'm dreading my next one. Anyway, that's a story for
I think you'll do one every 2 years, right? Or every...
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll come. But, like, I think mine might be annual.
But the day will come.
I mean, yeah. But, like, I literally said to a woman, lube that shit up. Like, put a lot of lube. She was like, yeah. She didn't.
Listen.
It was
anyway, you know my story. I
don't know. I even tried to think of, like, sexy thoughts to, like, you know...
wet up a bit.
Yeah, like...
How can you? That environment is just... yeah. Maybe we'll do a credits on smear test one day.
Yeah, I think we definitely should.
When the trauma... When I've...
You've healed from the trauma.
I'm still healing to this day. I'm telling you. But anyway.
So we meet her partner, who looks a lot older than her. Didn't you get that vibe?
Yeah.
No, he's a he.
He does look
not.
Yeah, no, he does seem to be weird. No, he does seem older than he. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a really sad situation. That's what we're talking about. So she did seem very like forlorn and sad and things.
But she was 25. We knew that much. He looked at least 45.
Yeah, he does look quite old.
Yeah.
Quite old and quite, like, fatherly.
Yeah.
But not in, like, a good way. Not in the way we were talking about before with Louis and Idris, no.
He just looked like
not zaddy, like fatherly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you call him daddy.
Hey, then and get your panties.
Daddy.
It's a bit peak, because that guy's dead, you know.
What guy's dead?
You know, oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong sister. But you know Trina's husband?
Yeah, Trina's Gabe.
Yeah, he's dead.
Gabe. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, but he's been dead, right?
Well, I mean, maybe 3-4 years.
How did he die again? I remember hearing
apparently
that
it was like cancer.
That's so sad, man.
Yeah,
it's so weird. I feel like reality TV, or just cameras and videography in general, it's so weird because it like immortalizes everyone and everything. Like I'm rewatching Real Housewives of Atlanta season 3, and there's like the bit where they're talking about Cynthia and Paul, you know, wow, is this blue therapy? And Peter getting married, and it's like it's crazy because like I'm literally watching you guys get married, and Cynthia is now married to somebody else. It's crazy, like everything.
But like now, that marriage just makes zero sense to me.
It never made sense, even at the time. Well, okay, it's true. At the time, I wasn't thinking that, but like now I'm watching it back, I'm like, how are you guys even together?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that like it's forever though. Like it's not just a thing you can forget. Because for me, the way my memory's set up, I could have married someone at 19 and I would have forgotten all about it by now.
Yeah.
Like, relationships I've been in, like I don't even remember the ins and outs of the relationship. But if that had all been on camera, then I can never forget.
Literally, like, again, sorry to reference Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but like they were talking about their kids watching the show, and Chris was like, no, not Chris, Kim was like, oh my God, you know, I just don't want them to come and ask, like, who's Chris Humphries? Like, I just don't want to have to into that. And I was like, okay, well, if you didn't fucking want to answer that, you shouldn't have had a flipping jamboree for all people to see. And, like, you shouldn't have married this guy and gotten divorced in 72 days. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And, like, for me as well, it was just, like, unnecessary. Like, if I was Chris watching it, I'd have been like, keep my name out your fucking mouth. Because it's, like, it's a very simple conversation to have with your kids. Yeah, mummy was married.
Yeah,
and,
I was
like,
married,
now...
that's in my mind.
Yeah, literally, like, I don't know why she was going on as if that was even the sex tape that they was...
As
like,
if that was the worst of it. Literally.
Literally, as if that was the worst of all the things that had been happening.
I said, wait, a divorce is what you're scared to tell your kids about.
Literally.
The one that you're currently going through now.
She dated her flipping bodyguard on that show. The origin of the show shows, like, the sex tape, which, again, like, fine, like, I'm not saying that she should be embarrassed about the sex tape, but that is a more awkward conversation to have with your kids than, like, I was married and I got divorced. Like, what the hell?
Because I'm currently divorcing from your own father. So if you can understand that one, you can totally understand that
surely, like... So anyways, back to Barb's. Not Barb's, Marie. So Marie and her partner, they show him and he looks a bit older. And basically they're in therapy and he says that he feels some guilt about her assault because the night it happened, she called him and basically told him to pick her up from the station. And then he was like running a bit late and he keeps saying to himself that if he had just been there 3 minutes earlier, like he would have been able to do something to prevent the assault. And she's basically just saying that, like, you know, he would have done what he wanted to do either way.
Because this is the thing, it starts with her like kind of saying that she didn't want to talk about how she was feeling because she didn't want to make the partner feel bad. And so then I was like, why would the partner feel bad? Like about something that happened. I mean, I get why he'd feel bad, you know, but she was kind of making like, I didn't want him to feel guilty or didn't want him to feel, you know, whatever. So it's kind of like a sore spot in the relationship where it's like, if he had been there at the time that he said he would, then maybe that wouldn't have happened. Which is really sad. Like I really felt bad for him. Like I'm not even here to like you know, console men and stuff.
Yeah,
but I felt
drink
really
their tears.
Yeah, I used them to wash my body, but I felt really bad for him. I mean, the whole situation is really sad, but it's like, it's not his fault. That when it comes to these situations and assaults and things, it's the fault of the person who committed the crime. Yeah, it's okay, cop 101. It's the assailant.
Law and Order SVU.
Dun dun. So it's the assailant who should take the guilt, or not the guilt, take the responsibility. It's no one else's fault. Because if he hadn't chosen to do that day, then it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everything else you think you could have done to prevent it. The point is, if he hadn't made that choice, it wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
So we're back with Lisa now, who's home, and she's still getting regular visits from the hospital, and her kids all seem like happy and healthy to have her back. And again, it was just cute seeing Louis play with the kids, and this is when he goes to look at the poo.
So good. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, turning me all the way on.
Honestly, I'm glad it's not just me because...
Fam, I don't worry, I crossed my legs when I was watching it.
Literally, I was like, wait. What am I feeling?
What is this moisture?
Not the moisture.
So Lisa says basically since coming home, she's been relying on support of friends and family, and which makes sense because
her friend that she's with is lovely.
Lovely. And basically she's still kind of suffering from the effects of her her anxiety medication. And she explains that she's had a lot more lows than highs. And some days she can't even get out of bed. So it just, for me, I was kind of like, ooh, is it good for her to be back home? Because it seems like she's slipping back into where she was before. And she just looks really out of it. Like, I'm not saying that she was high at all, but that's the only way I can explain how she looks. She literally looks like she was high. Like,
yeah, but it also looks a bit like dissociative. Like, she was high, but then also with like you know, sometimes when you're, well, I would imagine if somebody were to be high, then it's almost as if like you're almost happy with it. Do you know what I mean? Or like pensive with it, or like, you know, whatever. There's like the emotion attached to being high does not seem like sadness or depression.
Yeah.
Or you might just be in thought or confused or happy or giggly or whatever. But like with Lisa, it was just like she was high, but she was like really sad, like really, really like down.
Yeah, it's true. And basically she says that she just doesn't get any pleasure from her children anymore, and she just sees them as complete hard work. And Louis like does this really, I guess it depends on how you view it, but I think it's quite reassuring. He basically says to her like, yeah, like a lot of parents feel that way. Like there are times when I know my parents must look at us and be like, these children are a headache. Like just the same way they must have moments where they're like, I'm so happy we had these kids. So it's a natural thing, but I guess obviously we all know that with mental health, there's a lot more than just a feeling. Like it's literally like the state of your mind, basically. Yeah. So we go back to Catherine now, because this documentary jumps between like these kind of, I think Catherine and Lisa are the main two, but then we do a little bit of Barb's. But yeah, we're back with Catherine now. And she's basically granted unsupervised leave from the mother and baby unit. And she fails to come back. So they start looking for her, and then she communicates with her partner, Chris, telling him that she wants to kill herself, that this is the end. Like, he's never going to see her again, and she takes 65 tablets. So they contact the police, and basically they're saying that, yeah, they 100% believe that she could kill herself. Like, you know, she's not stable.
She's done this before.
Yeah. So 10 hours later, they find her, and she's overdosed in a hotel room. But she's alive. I didn't think she would be. I really didn't think she would be. But
I thought she would be.
I mean, I guess I thought she would be because they kept it in the documentary.
Yeah.
So we go back to Barbara now. We don't see Catherine. We just hear of this ordeal, and we see them running around, but we don't actually see her because she's in hospital and drip and everything. So we're back with Barbara, and basically she's made a full recovery. She's feeling a lot better.
Oh, I was so happy for this bit.
Yeah, I'm really happy for this bit. It was literally a beam of light. And basically we learned that people who have like postpartum psychosis usually kind of like make very like easy full recovery,
especially if you've not had like a history of mental health
issues
beforehand.
The only thing that kind of affects it is if they stop taking their medication prematurely, or if they kind of have another kid that could flare up the same symptoms. But again, I guess it's better because like you know the drill, so you can get yourself into treatment earlier. So yeah, basically like she's good to go, like she's a lot better. So we're back with Lisa now, and she is leaving the home for the first time since she's been back from hospital. So she's been struggling with extreme anxiety, and she just decides to test the water with a school run. And like this school run, you can just see like she is so like she keeps saying, "Where are the kids?" There was a guy up in front of her, like fixing, like, I don't know if it was like a pelican crossing or whatever, and like she's really scared of him. So we learned from her partner that Lisa not finally, like it was a good thing, but she got to a point where she started having suicidal thoughts, and she basically just said to him one day, like, yeah, I want to kill myself. And she said that this feeling was with her for like 3 weeks, and the only way she could describe it was an overwhelming desire to kill herself, almost like a craving. And I kind of processed it as like, I have a lot of dissociative thoughts, and I was very comforted by knowing that a lot of other people have it. But I can then imagine that this is like that dissociative thought following me like every day until I feel like I must do it. Like, sometimes I'm driving in the car, and like I might be driving like, you know, like those country roads where by the side you can see it's just like a drop into like, and I'm like, oh, what if I just swerve the car and see what happens?
I have that.
And a skirt, and then a skirt.
Yeah,
I have those thoughts, and I'm just like, what if actually like that followed me, and every time I got into the car, and then one day I skirt, and then.
And so this is the thing, and the thing with Lisa is that like, Lisa's not really going anywhere, right? So it's like there are probably less opportunities. Obviously, you can kill yourself wherever, but there's less opportunities for her to do. So if Lisa was commuting to work every day, getting on the train and everything, well, how much longer would it be before one day she just thinks fuck it, and then she just throws herself in front of the train?
Yeah,
do you see what I mean?
It's crazy.
So it's like it's really, really scary. Like,
and that's how you'll be on the tube, and you'll hear like somebody jumped in front of a train, and you'll really be wondering like, oh my god, like and you just have no fucking clue, like what led to that decision.
What was the final straw? Yeah, but that feeling of an overwhelming desire is a very strong way to describe. Like I had to do it for 2-3 weeks. That's crazy, man.
I just see it as like an itch. Like if I have an itch, I scratch it. So it's just this itch that you need to scratch.
And it's like you need to scratch it, but you're thinking that I can't do this because I have, this kid and that kid and that kid and a husband and everything else.
Yeah. So we're nearing the end now, and Catherine is back home with her partner and son, and she's feeling a lot better. She says she feels a connection to her son, and she can actually say she loves him now, which was good. I did kind of feel like I hope she actually is better.
And it's not like an Instagram TV thing.
So Louis kind of concludes the documentary saying,
in speaking to all the mums I'd met, I'd seen the most extreme versions of feelings familiar to many new parents, but that had tipped over into acute mental health crises. Making it worse was a weight of expectation about motherhood.
But yeah, guys, that was documentary. I would 100% to say watch it, and I'm not just saying like watch it because I'm like in the arena of motherhood and like
This
whatever.
arena. I'm sorry. This arena.
I say arena because arenas are big. So basically, you have the like main stadium where the gladiators fight. Then you queue up outside with your tickets to enter the stadium.
Okay, do you know what I am?
And then you get stuff. You're not home. You are like
no. Stop. Can I?
You're in a car
let
park.
me land.
No, I'm telling you where you are.
Land.
No. Because if I let you land,
let me land.
you're gonna say some dumb shit.
No,
let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you where you are. Then
let me tell you where I am, because I'm gonna forget.
No,
because I'm gonna forget. No, I'm gonna land.
I haven't even said where I am, but okay.
Let me land. Okay, no, where are you? No, but you're in the arena. I am.
No, I'm not in the arena. I'm in the ticketing.
No, you know the O2 Greenwich.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're there
at the
with
station. If you say
no, I'm not at the station. I'm not at the station. But you know when you get in, you walk into the main bit, yeah? They have the all bar one on the left, okay?
Yeah, and
then
stairs.
When they tell you your gate is, what's that gate where like you literally walk all the way through Greenwich? You go to the right and you walk past, walk past Five Guys, you walk past everywhere, you walk past like literally it's like journey, yeah? Mm-hmm. Imagine that gate is motherhood, yeah? I am in Kingsbury. Away.
Guys, I wish you could see my face. Anyways, so if we look at O2 Arena, I am
the Greenwich one.
Yeah, I'm in the queue, about to like get my shit checked before I then go up to my gate. You were like,
okay, that's not that far.
Well, I mean, I'm getting married soon, so I can't be that far.
Okay,
the
where am I then?
The marriage will be me, my shit being checked, and then I'm like walking to find my seat. You are like, you're outside of the arena queuing up to enter. So you're outside of Greenwich. You know they have like the tickets. If you want to buy tickets outside, like all those people that buy tickets outside, I don't know why they do that. So tickets on the day.
But you're talking about like that's where I am. But then you're saying that my destination is still that. You know when you go in that I first know, straight.
Once you pass that, then it's all fair game. So all I know is you're not close to being checked, but you're.
Okay, well that's fine. I heard not close.
And your journey can be expedited. You don't know. You just don't know. Express delivery. Extra, read all about it. Petey's having a baby.
I was just thinking, and I messaged Forenz this randomly the other day, that like for 9 months you just can't drink. Even longer, because if you're breastfeeding, you just
That's
can't
what I was about to say. I asked my aunt, who's a doctor, and I was like, is there any way, like, can't I have a sip? Can't I
Didn't they say in the news you can have red wine, like a glass of red wine? Didn't they say that?
I said, can I not pump and then revisit? She said, no, like it stays in the system for like 18 hours.
Okay, but who eats? Baby will sleep for 18 hours.
Fam, I know the year I want to start trying. So the year before, I'm going to be drunk from like January through to December. And then after that, I'll know that.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't stay in your veins like that.
I know, but I'll just live on the mems.
9 months? That's so rude. So I'm just not going to go brunch. No bottomless brunches.
Fam, I'm just thinking of the bottomless brunch I had last week. And that was that. Stupendous. Plus the journey home when I was chatting shit. Stupendous. I'm never going to have that experience again. Everyone around me is just going to be doing la-di-da-di-da drunk and I'm just going to be sat there like a slapped ass.
Designated driver.
Are you fucking kidding me, mate? Absolutely not. I'm just going to drink like...
No, but absolutely. You're getting your ticket checked. Do you think that is not coming soon?
I'm just going to drink lots of Prosecco and then convince myself I'm drunk. I think you can fake it and then suddenly like the hormones and then you feel drunk.
Or what if you get spiked with alcohol but you don't know it's alcohol? Let's say, for example, you accidentally give me real red wine. Then I'm not a bad mother because I didn't know that it wasn't real red wine.
Don't tempt me with a good time. My tolerance is going to be at 0 after giving birth. I'm going to have one sip.
But it'll be great. Imagine how cheap the nights out will be.
Oh, God. God see me through because that is really... That's really what I'm thinking about. After a long day, I can't even just back a glass of wine. I don't even know how...
So what are you supposed to do? What are you actually supposed to do? So what is the solution then? You can't just come with problems and then not provide a solution. So they say to us, you can't have alcohol. Okay, so what can I have then as a result?
Sex.
How do I replace it? That's what got us here in the first place.
For me, I'm so surprised by how many like expectant mothers I see that just are happy and whatever. And are they on crack? They must be doing some sort of alternative.
They're doing something. Something is being... Can you smoke weed when you're pregnant?
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it because people will already write me off as an unfit mother. Let's take that offline.
Okay.
Okay, so next week we are doing BD. Tell us.
Oh, do you know what? It's so funny. I was supposed to choose and I completely forgot about that conversation. So
surprise!
Surprise, nigga.
It'll be a
We'll play the
surprise.
trailer, of course, once we figure it out. But it's going to be a documentary about something, and that something is going to be something that we will discuss in depth during the episode. So, in the meantime, between time, where can they find us?
They can find us on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at 2girls1doc. And there's an underscore on TikTok.
Ew.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Warrens with 2 underscores, and also my other podcast, Character Replay. And also at the end of the aisle, in a white dress.
Also in the delivery room.
Oh my gosh, fuck that shit, mate. Not after this. Give it a break.
Have mercy.
And where can the people then find you? On nothing, basically.
Basically, listen, go on 2girls1doc in it. Just go there. Save your time.
Go there.
Save your time.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Yeah. It's been real.
Morning, or afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Fever is kicking my ass.
It was a beautiful morning. Everybody was everywhere. All of a sudden,
police walked over. I went, that's a bomb.
Did you think of the consequences?
It was my destiny.
It was just complete shock and helplessness.
This was like a war scene.
Detectives fear the bomb could be the start of a terror campaign.
I thought it was a racist attack.
Was it a group of people? Was it one person?
There was lots of speculation. And then...
The second weekend running in the capital, ethnic communities have once again been targeted.
This strikes at the heart of the Bengali community.
We will defeat the people who are responsible for these bombs.
I spent 10 years undercover in the far right. I've got a different perspective. There was talk about starting a race war. All someone had to do was light a match.
Whilst the politicians and the police were dithering,
the bomber is preparing the next bomb.
It brought the pressure to a different level.
Nobody was thinking about the fact that this could go wider to the gay community.
I was passing by, and then...
He's murdered an unborn child.
Well, I was never going to let him get away with it.
There'd never been a serial bomber. People were afraid.
They're trying to drive us apart!
It was down to us.
We're coming together in a way you've never seen us before!
This was somebody who hated difference.
What gives me hope is that there are more good people than bad people.
I knew we needed to stop him.